Now, the official death toll in flood-stricken KwaZulu-Natal has now risen to 306. The number of people who have lost their lives rose yesterday as emergency workers managed to access more areas and locate the bodies of more victims. KwaZulu-Natal has been declared a disaster area, and President Cyril Ramaphosa has visited some of the affected communities across the province. He described the situation as a catastrophe of enormous proportions, and he also promised residents that government will be helping them as soon as possible. The floods have been labelled as the worst in the country's history. 3 years ago, the province experienced floods during the Easter weekend, which claimed 85 lives at that time. Now, for the latest mop-up operations in KwaZulu-Natal, we cross now to our reporter Nozintombi Miya, who is at the old airport precinct near Umlazi. Nozintombi, good morning. And wow, just taking a look at the scene of devastation behind you. Please tell us about what you can observe and, of course, the mop-up operations that are currently underway.
Yes, thank you so much, Sakina. It's absolute devastation here where we're standing, just next to the old airport precinct. You know, one of the largest shipping companies around here in Durban just indicated to us a little bit earlier that their entire operations have had to be halted, specifically here at this shipping yard container. I mean, I'm going to ask my camera colleague, KwaZulu-Natal, to just show you where we're standing and what visually we are seeing. And what you're seeing visually right now is you're seeing the backdrop of the Umlazi hostels. You're seeing tons and tons of shipping containers that literally were swept and flooded by the water that started rising on Monday. And our understanding from an inside source working in the company told us that there is a little water canal that links to the river, the Umlazi River, and from Monday night, it started raining, it started flooding, and the water levels began to rise to almost 3 meters. The bridge that you're seeing right now was completely flooded with water. The force of the water swept away these containers. And these containers that you're seeing right now, the containers that contain dry goods such as clothes, such as shoes and what have you not. And as you can see, and you start panning, that you start seeing the white containers, and these white containers are the refrigerated containers. These are the containers that have the food, such as the fruits, the vegetables, and inside these white containers themselves are copper cables. And we understand from the inside source that some of the residents or some looters who, it's still unidentified whom it is from, but some of the looters started making their way through yesterday and stealing the copper cables that were inside these white cables. They started looting one of the shops there. You can see it's got tiles. They started looting the shop that's over there and shops across the road. And because they couldn't move the actual containers themselves, all they could do is literally strip what they can and take the copper that they can. It looks like a ghost town because the force of the water over the past few days since Monday literally pushed all of the shipping containers. He explained to us that these shipping containers that you see lying askew were actually in order, stacked one on top of each other. But the force of the water has made them tumble to such an extent where they literally have now had to shut down their operations temporarily so they can actually get sufficient equipment, sufficient mechanisms to come and assist them remove now what's become a ghost town of these empty shipping containers that are no longer working or useful. And he's saying that the damage to the companies and the businesses around here is worth millions. It's going to take months for them to rebuild. It's affected the jobs of the people in this area. We've been standing here from about 5:30 this morning, And you can see that this is a main road that most of the workers use to get in and out of the area and to get to work. And it's been a struggle because all of the roads have been blocked off. They've been closed off. Taxis have had to return back or do U-turns. You can see the bewilderment on the faces of the people in the taxis. They don't know where they're going. They don't know how they're going to get to work. They don't know what condition they're going to find themselves in. I mean, if you can see, there's a lady that's literally walking towards where she used to work here at the shipping container. But once she gets there, she actually has no idea whether or not she'll still have a job because large parts of the building are still underwater. They're still flooded. It's a massive amount of mud that is lying right underneath the bridge. It's only been since yesterday where the bridge started getting cleared up and we started seeing cars moving. But even then, the cars that are moving are not at the ordinary pace that we know cars to be moving at. Again, the concern of the looting. Again, the concern of the residents that are blocked off here at the Umlazi section not being able to get access in and out of the area. So it really is a scene of absolute devastation. And as mop-up operations continue, it really is going to take not just local government, but also private business to all come together and work in concert to really start putting in the mechanisms needed to start clearing up the debris, the absolute devastation and chaos that we're seeing happening on the ground here in KZN, Sakina.
Well, Nozintombi, wow, that's, quite an eye-opener in terms of just putting it all into context because we talk about this flood and we've seen the devastation, but if, as you say, you look at what's happened here and how the water has literally altered what was a very tiny and organized space of those containers, it really does give one a sense of the magnitude of the water that swept through the eThekwini region. But Nozintombi, we're going to park it there. We'll come back to you not too late in the show. We'll do regular crossings to you. So thanks so much for that scene setter first off, and we'll be back later on. That's SABC reporter Nozintombi Miya out at the Umlazi container depot, just showing us the extent of the devastation as a result of the flooding that took place this week. And we'll be crossing to her regularly throughout